What's going on, guys? I know the lighting's poor and this video isn't going to be all that interesting anyway, but I figured I'd give a quick little update, probably more so for those who follow my Instagram, who know that I've been kind of battling with this thing for a while. Just to give you an update on where I'm at with this, and hopefully this will be kind of the last little video I have to post on this, because I believe I've gotten everything more or less squared away. Other than getting everything back together as far as the housing and the deck and all that crap. But for those who don't know, I recently was given this mower. It wasn't running. It was actually my father-in-law's neighbor down in Florida who previously owned it and used it for what appears to be many years until he had some problems with it and couldn't get it figured out. So he gave it to my father-in-law, who brought it up to me. And actually pretty quickly was able to figure out what the problem was and got it started and running. Actually just ended up being a couple of bad ignition coils, as well as a stuck fuel solenoid, and I think there was a stuck safety switch as well that wasn't letting the circuit complete. So once I got all that figured out, I got the thing running, only to find that it was hemorrhaging oil pretty bad. So one thing led to another. Eventually I just took the engine completely out, almost completely apart, and replaced just about every seal, gasket, and O-ring that I could find, and ultimately stopped the oil leaks as far as I could tell, and kind of got everything tuned up and running, belts tightened, got new tires on it, got a little ATV winch for the deck. Winch rather, not winch. Little ATV winch for the deck, because this thing does tend to get itself stuck if the ground is too soft. And you know, change the fuel gauge, new headlight, you know, all kinds of little odds and ends that were wrong with this thing. And you know, used it for a week or so. It worked great, and then when I went to start it up one day, I started losing compression and having some issues there. Finally got it to start again, and the oil seal blew out of the oil filter, which was obviously symptomatic of some compression issues, which I was already seeing through the loss of compression. And you know, one thing led to another. I had gas shooting out of the carb. The thing wouldn't run anymore, wouldn't start up. It just kind of seemed like one thing after the other, and I really just could not figure it out. So, you know, I had this thing apart, together, so many times. I could probably tell you how many parts and pieces are in it and where. But, you know, I think I finally actually found it. I took one of the head covers off and found a stripped rocker arm bolt. That was probably my fault. I probably over-torqued it, stripped it out, and that wasn't allowing the proper seal or compression there at the end of the rods and the hydraulic lifters and all that crap. So you know, one thing after another. Just seems like if I fixed one thing, I caused myself another problem. I think I finally chased them all down though, and got that all back together, and hopefully can get this thing assembled and running. So for those interested, I'll just go ahead and fire it up real quick. Titus, stay. So seems to be firing good. I did have to clean and re-gap the spark plugs. I got this thing together earlier and it was backfiring really bad. I'm thinking, man, there's just no end to this. Turned out I had dropped one of the spark plugs and bent the gap in on one of them. So fortunately that was an easy fix. And I'm thinking everything is pretty much ready to go now. I am going to change the oil one more time. I've just got some old used car oil in it, 5W20 from the last oil change I did to my Honda out there. I really need some new 10W30, and I think I have a new filter floating around here somewhere. So I'll get those on there. changed up, get everything put back together, and I'm hoping I can mow with it tomorrow and kind of get it out of the shop and out of my hair to get into some other projects. But just figured I'd update some of you guys on that if you're interested. You know, any of you guys who are maybe hesitant about working on your own mowers, I do encourage you to kind of maybe tear into one, especially if you know you don't really have the money to take it to somebody else, you know, and charge by the hour. You know, sometimes it's certainly cheaper to do that for sure. You know, if I'd taken this over to the local mower place, they could have probably had it tuned up and running for probably less than what I myself had to put into it after I broke this or that, or you know, bought this or changed this if I didn't need to, you know. So it's kind of a give or take as far as that's concerned. But I did learn a lot more about engines than I ever did. Got some new tools that I can play with and use for some other applications. And, you know, all in all, I learned a lot, and I think it was worth maybe the headaches and the extra investment there. And now, you know, maybe I can work on other things just using what I learned there. So, all in all, not a total loss or even a waste of time. You know, it could have been quicker and cheaper, again, if I took it to somebody who knew about it. But, you know, kind of teaching yourself and learning yourself some things, can't really put a price on that. So I would encourage you guys, you know, maybe start with a small mower, small engine, you know, figure that out and kind of branch out from there. I know I've worked on some in the past, kind of done minor repairs and maintenance, but never anything to this degree, and certainly learned a lot. So that's pretty much it, guys. I know this is probably about as boring of a video as I could have possibly made it. Not really showing how or what or, you know, where I did anything, but, you know, maybe next time if I have kind of a little odd job on the mower here or there, I'll do some videos. I know there's lots of quality content on YouTube already as far as checking different odds and ends, compressions, leak downs. You know, I did all that with this. But, you know, there are good videos out there. YouTube's got just about everything, so you know, definitely grateful for that, as well as other forums and things where guys kind of helped clue me in on a couple of things that maybe I wouldn't have found otherwise. So I think that's all I need to say about that. Hopefully you guys will see some more knife related content in the near future. I've got some projects I'm going to be working on. I do still want to get farther on the CNC build. Hopefully I'll have some room now with this mower out of the way. I'll get the frame and the mechanics pretty well dialed in before I start jumping into the electrical and drive systems. So look forward to that. I'm hoping that's sooner than later. I've got some knives I need to finish up first, and you know, some orders to fulfill. But other than that, definitely a lot of things in the works, a lot of things on the plate and on paper that I want to have going on. So hopefully I can get some time to sprinkle a little bit more of that into the channel, certainly on Instagram, Facebook, things like that. So that's all for now. Say bye, Titus. Yeah, you can't talk, can you? And I guess we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.